Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. It is episode number 330 for October the 28th, 2025. Had a very busy weekend. We'll come back to that in a moment, but first let's take a look at what I've been working on. And here you can see two more blocks from Stormy Sea Quilt. I'm getting there. It's not Christmas yet. I said I'd have it done by Christmas, so we shall see. But there's not that many more blocks left to do, and then I can start assembling the whole thing, and then the top will be done. Of course, there has to be borders too, but whatever. It's getting there, and I think it's going to be fantastic when it's done. You've heard me say that before. So this is the table runner set that I made for my hairdresser. Now, I showed this yesterday on my vlog and last week on So Chatty, but what I didn't show you was the back of this and some close-ups of the placemats and the napkins. So here's the backing that I used on the for the table runner. This does not come up very well. You've heard me say that before. For some reason, my camera settings on this do not really bring out the true aubergine and sage colors that are in this. They look more gray and purple. Yes, aubergine is purple. I need to vacuum my carpet. Got little threads on it. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, never mind my housekeeping. But here it is. And I did the binding the same as the backing. Can't really see the quilting that well in this. If we go back here, I might be able to blow this up a little bit so you can get a better look. There you go. You can see the quilting here. I just did basically a feather design that is not exactly the same, but reminiscent of what I put in the placemats. So yeah, I was very happy with that. Lucy was very cooperative with me. So that's always a good thing when Lucy and I get along fine. And so here's a close-up of the napkins. The napkins, I did the hem on them. It's a rolled hem from my serger. And these are the napkin rings. And as I said yesterday in my vlog, I 3D printed these, but I didn't have a sage green. I don't even know if they make a sage green filament or aubergine. So I decided to go just with black and white in a very contemporary style, this ribbing on it. And the reason for that is she might want to use them with other napkins that she has. So black and white goes with everything. And of course, I printed the little box that goes along with them for storage. So yeah, that's all I have to show you there. So that takes me to trying to clear my throat. If you've been watching me for a while, oh, sorry about that, you know that this happens to me all the time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I do these so early in the morning and, you know, my voice hasn't gotten ready for the day or whatever. But I do apologize for that because it's kind of rude. Yeah. Okay. So on Wednesdays, Sewing with Stephen, as usual, 9 a.m. Eastern Time start. Come and go as you please. And we go until about 4 p.m. in the afternoon. If you've never been to a sewing chat or to a Sewing with Stephen before, you're welcome to come. Yeah, it's open to everybody. And it's a great group. Everybody's very friendly and supportive, and we have a good time. And I know I look forward to it every week. And I know many of the regulars that come too look forward to it every week because they told me they did. Okay, we had the retreat, my fall 2025 Idiot Quilter retreat on Saturday. Very well attended. We had 86 people signed up for it, and only 2 were no-shows. And I have not heard from them yet, so they're blacklist. Yeah. And if you're new to this channel, don't know what the blacklist is, yeah, just don't ever get on it. That's all I can say. So that's pretty darn good. The presenters were great, and people sent me, I got many emails from people that attended thanking me for it, but especially saying that they really, really enjoyed the presenters. And if you don't know who the presenters were, they are Becca from Sew Becca, Ian from the Off Kilter Crafter, and Adam from Adam Sews. And we had John from Art East Quilt Company, who talked all about his latest endeavors, creations, and things that are coming up very soon for purchase. And so they were all great presenters. And I don't pay them. I can't afford to pay them because the retreat is free. And yet, in spite of that, they took their time, they took their creative talents, and they donated them to me free of charge. And I can't say too much about how much I appreciated that, because that really makes the day. The presenters. So thank you so much, Becca and Ian and Adam and John. Also, we had the Show and Share slideshow, which is made up of the pictures of quilts that were submitted to me by the participants. And I had one subscriber said they loved the slideshow, they loved the quilt show, but it went too fast. They would have liked to have been able to have lingered on each quilt, and I agree. And they suggested that maybe I could put the slideshow up on my channel for everybody to see. And I was already thinking that before it was confirmed as a good thought by one of my subscribers, so it is there. And you'll find the link for it in the show notes below. So anybody, whether or not you attended the retreat, can enjoy the creative talent of many of the individuals who were at the retreat. And as I said, the link is in the show notes below. Okay, so I think that was all the excitement of the weekend. On So Chatty last week, we did, we called it Testing Rotary Cutters, Sharpeners, and Replacement Blades. This was based on a suggestion from a subscriber. Yes, we do take to heart anybody's suggestions for what we can talk about on So Chatty. And usually, even if some of those ideas we don't do in their original format, we do take the kernel of the idea and run with it. And that's what we did here. And a lot of you have commented on it that you really enjoyed that kind of topic. So we may do a few more in the future episodes, So Chatty, with some of the things we have around here, and take another look at them and decide whether or not they are something that one should invest in. You know that Walter and I are very honest in our reviews of anything. We are sponsored by nobody. And anything that we say or tell you about, if we say we like it, we mean we like it because we use it. If we say we don't like it, we don't use it, and we don't recommend it, and we tell you why. And yes, it is our opinion, and opinions may vary, as they do, but for some of you who have not heard about some of these things or whatever, it might help you make up your mind whether or not you want to spend the money on it. Especially, quilting tools tend to run on the expensive side. Yeah. Okay, and speaking of on the expensive side, it arrived. It is the Missouri Star Quilt Advent Christmas box. I ordered this back in December. This will be my third one. This will be the third year in a row that I've ordered it. I'm not that excited about it. Not after last year's box. Remember, I'm telling you an honest opinion. The first year I got the Missouri Star Quilt box, I was really thrilled with everything that was in it. There were a few things that weren't to my cup of tea, but you can't expect that everything is going to, be exactly what will appeal to you. So that's a given. Last year's was crap. I'm sorry, it was. It was crap. It had a lot of little trinkety things in it that had nothing to do with quilting or sewing. Some of the items came broken. Now, not in my box, but I know in many boxes there was a set of these little measuring bowls. They came busted. And there was one, the last gift that's usually in the Advent box is the big one. It's the climax to the box. And when I opened it up, I was thrilled. It was a portfolio style cutting mat, combination cutting mat and pressing mat. And I thought, wow, this is perfect to take to a class, to a retreat, an in-person retreat, or even I was going to put it on a table that I have off to the side of my sewing machine. So, you know, for those little pieces, you don't want to get up and down to your big iron. I thought this would be great. I could do a little cutting, I could do a little pressing, and right there by my sewing machine. Yeah, I thought the cutting mat was crap. It was not self-healing. It was hard plastic. And the pressing mat melted as soon as you touched a hot iron to it. Yeah, I did write to Missouri Star Quilt about it, and there were many other people that wrote to Missouri Star Quilt. And I don't know about the other people, but I never got any kind of reply from them. Before I figured that all out, though, I had ordered this year's box. So this year we will be doing an unboxing. We will do it probably five unwrapping of whatever's in it, the first 5 gifts and the next 5 gifts, etc., throughout December. And when I say we, it will be Walter and I doing it this year together. And you know, I already said we're very honest about our reviews about anything, and we will be very honest with this review as well. However, we are going in with a bias, and the bias is that we're hoping that Missouri Star Quilt has picked up their socks, and this year's box is a lot better in both quality and content as compared to last year's. So stay tuned. The first unboxing of it, and I have not opened this yet. You are seeing it in exactly the way I received it. This is the shipping box. Usually Missouri Star Quilt puts all the little items in a very fancy little box, which was pretty much the best gift last year, the box itself, inside of this. And I've noticed there's a little mark on the side of the box, so something, hopefully that is an indication that something is damaged inside. It's probably okay because this is just the outer shipping box. But it is sitting over in a corner. I have not opened it at all, and I will not open it until we start recording. And yeah, we pre-record them, recording the, words fail me, when we start recording the videos of the unboxing of this. So stay tuned for that. As I said, the first one will probably go out on December the 5th. They're not even made yet. We'll probably make there'll be 5 videos in total over the 25 days in December. Yeah, we'll probably start making the videos probably in the last week of November, just a few days before the first unboxing of it. So stay tuned to see what shows up in those boxes. Okay, so that takes me to Subscribers Quilt of the Week, and this comes from a regular subscriber, Mona Bradley. This week's Subscriber's Quilt comes from Mona Bradley, and she sends us this picture of her beautiful EPP, and it looks like it's done in Tula Pink, and she says, I finally finished my first EPP quilt. The pattern is Tula Nova, and I used some of my favorite fabric from Tula Pink. So yeah, it is stunning, just stunning. What a beautiful design. That must have taken some time. And Tula Pink, I'm always looking for quilts that Tula Pink would be best used in, and I think you may have found it with the EPP because it really allows you to fussy cut and to put pieces where you want to put them, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I especially love the mandala effect in the center of this piece as well, the way it's almost got a kaleidoscope look to it. So beautiful. The whole piece is absolutely beautiful, and you should be very proud of it, Mona. So thank you so much for sending it to us. And if you would like me to feature one of your lovely creations here on the Idiot Quilter on a future episode, just send me a picture and 50 words or less description of what it is you're sending in to us, and I'll be happy to do that. And it doesn't have to be quilts. It can be any creative thing that you have made. Bags, knitted things, crocheted things, needlepoint, you name it, whatever. Okay, so YouTube of the Week. Now, you know that next year in around May, we are off to Japan for a couple of weeks, and I found this very interesting video on YouTube called I Explored Japan's Biggest Craft Store. And in this video clip, you will see fabric. So take a look at my review of that. This week's video clip is one to do with not just quilting and fabric, but also a whole lot of crafting supplies. And this is in Japan, outside of Tokyo. And it's just someplace that I thought was very interesting, and I'm hoping that when we go to Japan next spring, I'll be able to visit it because it has a huge selection of fabric and sewing notions along with all other kinds of crafting things at really cheap prices. So yeah, it's a must-see, I think. So if you want to check this out, then watch this particular video that's called I Explored Japan's Biggest Craft Store. I think you'll be amazed. So that brings me to future projects, and this is another quilt or quilt pattern by Giuce. It's called Quantum. This week's featured project is another Giuce design called Quantum. I'm not sure if it's called Quantum or if it's called Bacula Quilt, because it has both names on it. I think Quantum might be the fabric line that he's using, and Bacula is the name of the pattern. But either way, I have a link for it in the show notes below, and it is a free pattern, as all of Giuces that are produced by Andover seem to be. And this looks very, very modern and very unusual. And I think part of the unusualness of it is not so much the design as in the way Giuce's fabrics have been used in this. I think it measures 88 by 88, so it's a good size quilt, and all of the fabric requirements are here, but you can make it out of any kind of fabric that you wish. Now, there looks like there's some fussy cutting involved, but again, that would be totally up to you, whether you had a fabric that you want to cut pieces off. I think something like Tula Pink might work very well in this design too. But either way, I really like it. I think you're going to have to like making flying geese for this as well, because there looks like there's quite a few flying geese, and I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. But either way, I think this is a stunning quilt, and with the right fabrics put into it, I think it'll be a real statement piece, very much on the borderline of an art quilt. So that's Quantum or Bacula Quilt, designed by Giuce. And as I said, there is a link to the free PDF pattern for this in the show notes. So, what's twisting my seams? And in my case, it's not my seams, it's one of my subscribers' seams. It is Julie Kuhn's seams, and here's what's twisting them. This week on What's Twisting My Seams, we have a submissions from Julie Kuhn, who's a regular subscriber and friend here to the channel. And she writes this about this fabric. And it is Michael Miller's Fairy Frost, and I love Fairy Frost, the Fairy Frost line. So let's see what she has to say about this. I have been rearranging my stash. I came across this 5-yard cut Michael Miller Fairy Frost. Why in the world would I have bought 5 yards of this? The fabric was stiff and the glitter was flaky. I don't have the heart to donate it just yet, so I washed it and it has turned out soft and no more flaky. Stay tuned, I have an idea on how to use this. Yeah, well, I'm glad to see that actually you redeemed it by washing it, because I did not find that the glitter came off any of the Fairy Frost I had, but then again, I haven't used it all that much. I do love it though, but I can see this being put into something Christmassy or wintry, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm really happy for you that you were able to soften it up when you washed it and got rid of some of that glitter, because nobody likes glitter all over their sewing table and getting on your other fabrics as well. So thank you, Julie, for sending in this example of what's twisting your seams. So besides the table runner and things like that, what have I been up to in the past week? Well, here is how my week went. So, what I've been working on this week is a variety of things. Of course, I was getting ready for my fall retreat, and that was lots of fun, and you've heard me talk about that already. But I'm also working on some other things, 3D prints, of course. In here, I have one piece of many pieces for the Tuscan Villa, which I talked about yesterday on my vlog. And I've been working on some Christmas things as well, trying a few experiments. I'm thinking of these to give to my nephew's girlfriend. She is a special needs teacher, and I just gave her a big bag of things for her kids, and now I'm thinking about maybe making some special ones for Christmas. These are taking quite a long time to make. One, so I don't know if I'm going to go with these or not. I'll see. But this is actually, and you can't see it very well, let's open the door because it's in the process of being printed. That is a nutcracker, if I can get in there before this thing starts up again for the next color change. Yeah, so that's lots of fun. And of course it makes lots of poop, as you can see. And these are more pieces to the Tuscan Villa, and I have a whole bunch more in Lucy room. I won't bother showing you that. This printer is idle right now, but it won't be for long because I'm going to continue working with or making the Christmas toy things and probably doing some in there. So what else has been happening? Well, there's a big box sitting here on my pressing table. I have to sort this out. I just bought a whole bunch, 10 boxes of filament again. I think I buy more filament than fabric these days. Of course, I'm still working on the Stormy Sea quilt, but it's coming. I got a couple of blocks done last week, and I'm getting closer to the end for the final assembly. New projects over here. Of course, I finished up Laura's table runner set for Christmas. That's my hairdresser, and you've already seen that. And here's one of my bags that I made for her as well, and I'll put more goodies in this for her too, for her Christmas present. And I did get all the tote bags done this week too, so I have 12 of them, and I'll be showing those in a future video, how I'm decorating them up for Christmas. Of course, I have the Quilt of Valor all done and ready to go in another 2 weeks time, I believe. 2 weeks time at the time of recording this, when we're going to the Sew Day with the Quilts of Valor chapter that's in a town east of me. And I dug this out because somebody was making a quilt that had a southwestern theme, and then I remembered I bought a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago I think, this kit, which is a panel, but it kind of appeals to me. So I put it out here on the project table just to remind me I have it and I should do it. And also, I found these, which came out from that day we went to on the shop hop, and I bought this kit to make this table runner, and I want to get on with this one too. In fact, I have an idea of who I might give this to if it turns out okay. So yeah, every time I clean up this table, I just add more to it, right? That's what you do. So what else have I been working on? Well, that I think is about it for this week. But we'll carry on. I'm really glad that tote bags are done, because then I can get the embroidery machine set up and do some other more projects that are a little bit more fun. I'm really tired of doing the tote bags, but as I said, they are done. So I think that's all I've been up to this week. So that takes me to the last segment today, which is online quilt stores, a review. And this has a very interesting name. Be careful how you say it. It's Life's a Stitch. Yes, I said stitch. This week's online quilt store is located in Sault Ste. Marie, and it's called Life's a Stitch, which I think is kind of a cute title because of, well, the little pun there on the word stitch. But let's check out what their front page is all about. They have their online store is now open, and they do have a storefront, and they tell you that right up front and give you the hours for it. Looks like they sell Husqvarna and Viking sewing machines, and they have Tula Pink and Wonderful threads and Gutermann. Here's some example of some of their sewing machines and their irons. They have upcoming classes using your strip ruler, learn to applique part 2, a map of where they're located, and the address, and they have a newsletter. So there's a lot of information on this front page, and it's fairly attractively presented as well. So let's jump into Shop Now and check out their fabric. And let's see. Okay, so they have featured products, shop by category. Printed cotton, solid cottons, batiks, and then they have books, patterns, and notions. Okay, easy enough to find. Let's go to printed cottons. Okay, so we started off with, it looks like they mixed the yardage with pre-cuts, which is fine. Okay, $18.50 to $20, $18.50, $19, $20 seems to be the price. I'm assuming that is per meter. Let's click on one and find out. And it is in meters. And looks like you can buy a third of a meter or smaller fractions of a meter as well. So that's something interesting because not a lot of places have that. $18.50 to $20 per meter is a very reasonable price. Let's pop back and take a look at their selection. Now, they do have Stonehenge Basics, which is one I really like. I'm just looking here at the names. They have the Stuff Melange. I love that fabric. It's very nice feel to it. They've got some Christmassy things in here too. The only thing I don't like about this is I don't like the fact that it's all laid out in pages. It doesn't seem to be laid out by manufacturer, that kind of thing. But before I go any further with that, let's just click on the shop up here and see if I'm missing something. Shop by category. Yeah, no, they don't have it listed by manufacturer. They seem to have a fairly good selection of fabrics. They have 18 pages of them listed, but intermixed in that are the pre-cuts, as I said before. Oh, there's a few that are a little bit over $20, $25. Must be a very special fabric. And this one, that's kind of fun. Right there, it goes with that panel. Okay, well, price-wise, I'm going to extend it. We're going from about $18 to as much as $25. I'm wondering why that one is $25. Okay, they don't give you any description of the fabrics in here. They're just giving you pictures of it and the price. I think I would have liked a bit of a description, just especially in a case like this where that seems to be more expensive than anything else. I'm wondering if it's a different size of fabric. I don't know. Okay, so let's check out their classes then. And they have a few. Christmas Table Runner, Gearbox, Dark Quilt Top, Free Motion Quilting with Francis, Jelly Roll Rug. And they have a calendar of events. So if you're in that area, they've got a few classes. They don't offer a lot, and nothing seems to be very complicated. So that's great for a beginner or a confident beginner. They have contacts for long arm quilters, I guess, in the area as well. That's interesting. Yeah, that seems to be all they have. Well, let's take a look. Sewing machines. Okay. Yeah, again, well, they do give you a little bit more information on the sewing machine, and they give you the price. Again, I think that's something you'd want to go into the actual store to look at. And that seems to be what all they have. I wonder if they've got anything about shipping. Anything down here? No. Site map. Let's click on that and see. Well, they do have books. I didn't look at the books and the notions and patterns. That they don't look like they have anything about what their shipping costs are. Let's pop into patterns and just see what kind of variety they've got. Pretty much what you'd expect, standard kind of things. Yeah, nothing here that makes them stand out from anybody else, really. But patterns are patterns. Um, what else do they have? Well, the notions, probably the standard kind of notions. Yeah, they have zippers, rotary cutters, needles, yeah, rulers. Okay, so they have a few things there. Anything else we need to look at? Books. Yeah, and they're pretty much your standard affair. They've got a lot of those 3-yard quilt books, which seem to be very popular. Ooh, a book on gnomes. I might have that book. I'm not sure. Bags and totes. Yeah. Okay, so really, I got excited when I first saw the opening page of this. Um, I would have liked a section on their shipping policies, but we don't seem to have that. At least I can't find it readily enough. And, well, they have a good selection of fabrics. Prices are varied for sure. But generally speaking, I think their prices are fairly reasonable. Oh, they're supposed to have Tula Pink. Where's the Tula Pink at? Okay, I don't know. I don't know where the Tula Pink is. They say they have it. Browse full shop. Okay, was there a section for Tula Pink? No. So I guess the Tula Pink is pretty much embedded in here somewhere. You got to go hunting for it. I don't like that. Do they have a search engine? Something we did not look for. Email address, subscribe, but I do not see a search on here. So that's not very good. Yeah. Okay, so for all those reasons, I think it's worth checking out. I'm a little concerned about the way that it's organized. It's not that easy to find things. If you like to browse, it'll suit your fancy for that. So overall, I'm going to give them about a 5 out of 10. Yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, 5 out of 10. Okay, so that's Life's a Stitch. Okay, so that brings me to the end of this episode, but just before we go, what's coming up? Well, we're off to a guild quilt show on Saturday, and it's in a place north of Toronto, a little place. We've never been to this place before, and I have a hard time saying its name because it is Gewilliamburg, maybe. Gwillimbury. Gewillimbury. I'm not sure. Sorry to anybody who lives in that town. It's a hard name to say. I think it probably has its roots in Welsh. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. Either way, GW together. I'm not sure what sound that makes. But we're looking forward to this. You know that back a couple of months ago, we went to a small place called Buckhorn and went to the quilt show, the Guild Quilt show they had there. And it was a great quilt show. We didn't expect it to be, but it was. It was excellent. And in fact, I just had an email from one of the organizers of it inviting Walter and I to come back to their next one, which is in 2027. At first, I kind of questioned, don't you mean 2026? But no, it's 2027 because it does take a guild a couple of years to organize everything and get quilts ready for the quilt show and something like that. And quilt shows by guilds are usually a fundraiser to make enough money for them to get them through until the next quilt show. So yeah, so in 2027 we're going there, but we're going to this one this weekend, and I will take as much video as I possibly can, and we'll talk all about that probably next week as well, so stay tuned. And that's about all that's coming up this week, so I've got to go out for my morning walk, And I hope you have a really great week. We'll see you later. Bye for now.